Started.
Two dog man. Let's try a Sicilian. What is this? D3. Some kind of closed Sicilian, I guess. Well, let's develop the knight. Maybe bishop to G7 is an idea, taking advantage of this diagonal. And opposing pawn chains that are not in contact with each other. So we both get the setup we want. I would say this leads to kind of an equal position for black. So not the most challenging setup from white. Knight hopping into b5 is always an idea here. Knight b5 to c7, but right now there's nothing going on this diagonal, so the knight really from b5 has nowhere to go. I don't know if I guess white is going to castle castle kingside here. And I'm not sure what his long-term play is. He may be wondering if I'm going to take here. Oh, he's defending the b pawn so the knight can move. Yeah, I'm not going to take the knight. I can take the knight and double his pawns, but that's not a good trade in general. This is a good bishop. And my idea is just to develop my pieces and castle. Okay, that prevents the pin of the knight. So where does this bishop go? I guess it goes to d7. These other squares. e6 maybe is possible, but I may want to move the e-pawn at some time. So okay, development is completed for black. White is still making some moves here. He hasn't castled yet, but he is planning to exchange bishops, it looks like. So the question is, do I want to take an active role in the center here with d5. d5, e takes d5, knight takes. He takes with the knight. So that's not happening just yet. Okay, let's build up in the center with e6 and then d5. So after d5, he can also push the pawn, and the knight will have to run away. See, I could play knight to h5 now. And if he kicks it with g4, I would just have to retreat. Bit of a quandary. I think I'm going to go ahead with d5 anyway. If he takes, I can take back, and the knight is defending. If he pushes, the knight moves away, and I no longer need to defend the pawn because the pawn's not attacking it. No longer need to defend the d-pawn if he plays e5 because he gives up pressure on the center. Okay, so he does that, and I can't play g5, g4, knight g4 to attack the pawn, which would be a nice idea. So I'm going to some other square, probably this funny square here, g8 to e7 to f5 is my plan. Could also go to h6, e7 or h6. But maybe let's undermine this pawn on e6 is sometimes weak.
Check.
After you play f7. But let's just undermine his center pawn there and try and grab more space for myself. Yeah. So it seems like I have a pretty good center here. I have a slightly weaker king side, I guess, but I don't see way for him to exploit that. So let's lift the queen somewhere and develop a rook. So where does the queen want to go? Maybe to c7. I was wondering about e7 as well, but I want to put a rook on e8, I guess. So rook's on e8 and f8, and I can think about pushing these pawns forward. And maybe eventually there'll be something against the king. But I guess the immediate plan is rook e8, e6, e5, e4. Pawn on e6 to e5 and then e4. Okay. Attacking the knight, which is defended. But there's no pressure against my center here. It's interesting. It just has pieces attacking it and not pawns. You can't play knight. You cannot play knight to e5 there because I can just take it. His bishop is a little bit trapped in behind its own pawns, so I think black got a good position here. Now the move b5. Yeah, this move b5 is always annoying. It always seems to be in the air here. So I got to move the queen. I want to stay on this diagonal because I want to keep the knight out of e5. And then maybe I can just chase this knight back with a6. Maybe I can just leave it there and ignore it, and it makes it easier for me to play e5 anyway, because I don't have to worry about the the d-pawn. It's not being attacked. I just have to make sure the knight doesn't drop into d6 there. That could be embarrassing if I let go of d6. Say if the queen went to c8, knight d6 would be forking the queen and the rook, for example. So what should white be playing here? It'd be nice for him to get his queen on this dark squared diagonal. He just retreated. Okay, so I didn't even need to chase it away. So let's go ahead with e5. Not waste too much time on that. Now, can I play e4? That hangs the e4 hangs the d-pawn. So e4, knight takes, queen takes. Or e4, knight takes. I could take there. Bishop takes. It's probably okay for white. You know what I could try is knight. Knight h5, but then that gives up the d-pawn too. Okay, let's bring this knight over. Okay, for a second I thought I was giving up the e-pawn, but he had moved his knight away. So queen is attacking, queen is defending. So actually that was a bit of a lucky coincidence. I forgot to check. Yeah, so now this is under attack. Okay, so e4, knight takes, rook takes. Knight takes over here. I can play rook up, forking the queen and the knight. So let's go ahead and try this. If he doesn't take my knight, then the d-pawn is adequately defended. If he does take my knight, then I have the rook here on this f-file, and I have this fork. on f5 that forks the queen and if the knight takes on d5. Oh, he takes the pawn. Okay, so if he takes back with the knight, I still have rook to f5 as an idea, and then he's got a couple of loose pieces on this file, but he has gained a pawn. Okay, he's hitting that pawn, threatening to come here, but I'll hit the queen, so the queen has to move. Yeah, I didn't calculate that right, though. I didn't realize I was losing a pawn somehow. Maybe my next move is queen to e5. That defends the c-pawn and attacks the knight. But this bishop is loose now. Yeah. Let's see. Well, I can play my rook to here, defending the bishop. Rook to d5, supported by the knight, defends the bishop. I still want to come out here and attack his lineup of pieces, or maybe a knight move. Knight to f5, attacks his knight. If there's any other good discoveries. Not seeing them right now.
Check.
Aha, moving the queen with check. Good idea. Now, he's going to grab this pawn now. Okay. Don't see a way around it. Ah, that was a bad move. Look, I opened up the square on... yeah, I opened up the square on f6 as well for knight f6 check, as well as this bishop skewer. Pretty bad. Equally awful. Okay, so I went wrong here somehow. I need to cover this square.
Check.
I need to cover the square f6. That's why I played this move with the queen, but I'm still going down the exchange here. Queen takes, rook takes, and knight takes pawn, so 2 pawns in the exchange. White is doing very well. And the knight on c5 hits my bishop too, so there's no time to take advantage of this discovery. So yeah, I've just got a bishop for a rook. Let's see if I can get a little bit of activity here, though. He's covering the f4 square, and so knight f4, he can just take it. Otherwise, it'd be nice to double up on that g2 square. Let's see, is there any way to chase the knight away? Yeah. Don't see it. Okay, so knight, maybe knight to e4. Yeah, I don't know. Don't see anything good for me in this position. Nothing good is happening here. Right, I don't really want to trade rooks here. Yeah, it's getting harder. So let's see. He's got a knight coming into e6 there, it looks like, if I move the king. So, for example, rook d8 check, king g7, knight e6 check. I guess king to king h6. He goes there first. So now there's a threat of checkmate here, pretty much. So what can I do? If I block there, he can just push the bishop away with the pawn. Check here. I could block with the knight too. Yeah, let's give the king a little space though. Just reducing the material, that's his plan. Which is a good plan in this case. I guess he has this check. Yeah, that's annoying. So, can I try and get some activity here? Yeah, I was thinking of bringing the rook around. Maybe I can attack this pawn here. Yeah, it just doesn't look very promising. But I can, I guess, think about getting my knight somewhere. Well, get rid of that one weakness. Gives him passed pawns, but gets rid of a weakness of mine. Yeah, he was going to have those passed pawns anyway. Okay, so get the knight over to defend. Or knight here attacking. Maybe is an idea. So this delayed action on the king side is mostly to annoy my opponent. I don't think this actually will lead to anything. You gotta pick up a pawn over here. But these pawns on the queen side are going to win the game for him. What I really need to do is get my knight on the square f3 here and deliver a checkmate in the corner. But it's a couple moves away from that. And of course he doesn't have to allow that either. But his one rook is a little bit, it's on the wrong side of the pawns here, so it's a little bit out of play. Or maybe I can walk my king up
Check.
to g3 and just checkmate him. Let's see, I do have knight here with check. King goes to there. Knight here with check, picks up a rook. Whoa, always look at those checks. Oh, I can't get to the square. Okay, I'm sorry. So there's no check from the square. Ah, my, that would have been nice. Nice. This threatens a skewer. Rook here, check, picking up the rook on the back rank. Yeah, he threatens my knight. That's okay. I see. Can I move the knight somewhere interesting? Check here, pick up this pawn. Oh, knight here, threatening a fork. But his advanced pawn will still win, it looks like. So he can just let me fork his rooks. Yeah, just push the pawn. What is there to be done? Okay, check here. King moves.
Check.
Sort of a spite check. He only has one move. King to g8. And g1. King g1 is the only move. Yeah, now what...
Time warning.
Yeah, that looks pretty good. Just wondering if there's some
Check.
way to get checks against his king.
Check.
Rook is defending the knight here. He just takes it anyway. Okay, I'm going to resign now. Because I don't want to drag this out any longer. So
Black
good game, and I will
resigns.
take a look at this in a post-mortem, see where I went wrong. Okay, see you guys later. Bye.